All right, so you're prepping for a product assembly inspector interview.
And you want to be more than just ready.
Totally more than just ready.
Yeah, you want to impress?
That's exactly where this deep dive comes in.
We are going to unpack some really great resources.
I'm RoleCatcher.
Like their career guide, their interview prep materials.
Even some insights into their AI tools.
Yeah, it's all about going beyond just,
Just answering questions.
the basic answers.
And really showcasing a deeper understanding and positioning yourself
Absolutely.
as that ideal candidate.
100%.
So let's start with defining the role itself.
Okay.
What exactly is a product assembly inspector?
So RoleCatcher defines it as ensuring product quality and compliance.
So what does that actually look like day to day?
Yeah, so think of it as being this gatekeeper of quality. You're using high-tech tools to really evaluate products, make sure they meet all those specifications,
Okay.
and ensuring that they're safe and compliant. And you might be working in, a bustling manufacturing plant, a high-tech lab, or even an office setting.
And it sounds like there's a real sense of purpose
Absolutely.
in this role.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher's Guide highlights job security,
Yes,
opportunities for advancement,
for sure.
and even the satisfaction of knowing you're sending quality products
Yeah,
out into the world.
100%. It's a career with a tangible impact.
Okay, great. So one insight from RoleCatcher's career library that really caught my eye
Okay.
is that it says that 64% of this role involve production and processing knowledge.
That's a big chunk,
That is a significant chunk.
for sure.
Why is it so important for an inspector to understand the entire manufacturing process,
Right.
not just the inspection phase?
Because a product assembly inspector who can connect the dots and see that bigger picture is incredibly valuable.
I see.
So by understanding the entire production process, they can better anticipate potential issues,
Okay.
identify the root cause of defects,
Got it.
and then contribute to more effective solutions.
So it really shows that deeper level of understanding and commitment.
It's exactly the quality.
100%.
Yep.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Okay.
Now let's dive into what you're really here for,
Yes.
acing those interview questions.
Let's do it.
RoleCatcher gives us 10 common ones to work with.
All right.
You ready to tackle these?
Let's do it. These are likely to come up in your interview, so you know how to approach them is key.
Okay, so the first one is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
It's, can you explain your experience with inspecting product assemblies?
So this is really your opportunity to set the stage, even if your experience isn't directly as a product assembly inspector. You really want to focus on transferable skills.
Okay.
So have you worked in roles where attention to detail was critical?
Uh-huh.
Did you follow specific procedures or use measuring tools?
Yeah.
Highlight those experiences and connect them to the inspector role.
So even if I haven't been an inspector before,
Mhm.
I can still demonstrate that I have the skills
Absolutely.
and mindset needed.
Yes.
Okay, what about this one? Have you ever encountered a problem with a product assembly that required extensive troubleshooting?
Ooh.
This seems like a chance to tell a good story.
Exactly. This is where they're looking for problem-solving skills in action.
Okay.
So walk them through a specific problem, the steps you took, and the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be afraid to highlight the challenges you faced and how you overcame them.
So I'm guessing a story that demonstrates analytical thinking and a knack for solutions is really going to make an impact.
Yes, 100%.
Okay, here's one that feels particularly important. How do you ensure that all safety protocols are followed during the inspection process?
Yes, safety is paramount in this role.
Absolutely.
Demonstrating knowledge of safety procedures is non-negotiable.
Okay.
So be specific, mention any safety training you have, protocols you've implemented, and your overall commitment to a safe work environment.
So it's not just about saying safety is important.
No.
It's about showing that you know how to make it a priority. Okay, what about this question? How do you prioritize your workload when inspecting multiple product assemblies?
So this is all about organization and efficiency.
Got it.
So share your system for prioritization. Do you use a specific method? Do you rely on certain tools or software?
Uh-huh.
This highlights your organizational skills, which are critical for managing those multiple tasks.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, here's one that might throw some people off.
Yeah.
Can you explain your experience with using inspection tools and equipment?
Okay.
And I'm guessing they don't want a laundry list of every tool
Right.
that I've ever touched?
It's about showcasing competency with the tools relevant to this role.
Okay.
So focus on the ones mentioned in the job description.
Mm-hmm.
If you have experience with calipers, micrometers, or specialized inspection software,
Right.
highlight those.
What if I lack experience with some of the tools that they've mentioned?
Honesty is key.
Okay.
Acknowledge that gap,
Uh-huh.
but emphasize your willingness to learn new technologies quickly. You could even mention any relevant training you've sought out.
Okay, that's helpful. This next one seems more about people skills.
Hmm.
How do you handle difficult or sensitive situations when communicating with team members or clients?
So they're looking for your ability to navigate tricky situations with diplomacy and empathy.
Okay.
So think of a time where you had to deliver difficult feedback, mediate a conflict, or communicate a sensitive issue. Focus on the steps that you took to ensure clear communication and a positive resolution.
So it's about showing that you can handle the interpersonal side of the job
Yes,
as well as the technical side.
absolutely.
What about this one? How do you stay up to date with industry trends and changes in product assembly processes?
This is your chance to demonstrate your commitment to continuous learning.
Okay.
So mention any industry publications, online resources, or relevant certifications you use to stay current.
Yeah.
You could also mention professional development activities like workshops or conferences you've attended.
So it's all about showing that you are invested in staying at the top
Yes,
of your game.
100%.
Okay, this next question seems like it could be a bit of a curveball.
Yeah.
How do you handle situations where a product assembly fails to meet necessary specifications or requirements?
So they're assessing your ability to handle non-conformance issues effectively.
Okay.
They want to see that you understand the gravity of the situation
Right.
and know how to take appropriate action.
So should I kind of walk them through the steps that I would take?
Yes.
Like documenting everything,
Yes.
reporting it to the right people, and following the company's quality control procedures?
Absolutely. And if you have a specific example from your past where you successfully managed a similar situation,
Right.
share it.
Gotcha.
It will show you've been there and done that.
Okay, last question from RoleCatcher's list.
Hmm.
Can you describe a situation where you went above and beyond in your role as a product assembly inspector?
Ooh, I like this one.
This one seems like a great opportunity to shine.
This is your chance to showcase your dedication and initiative. So think of a time where you exceeded expectations, took on extra responsibilities,
Wow.
or came up with an innovative solution.
Maybe that time I spotted a potential safety hazard and implemented a new procedure that saved the company time and money.
Perfect. That demonstrates a proactive approach, problem-solving skills, and a willingness to go the extra mile.
Wow, we just tackled 10 interview questions.
We did it.
But I have to admit, it's a lot to keep in mind.
That's where RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly helpful.
Okay.
Their platform can actually help tailor your answers and get feedback specific to this job role.
Wait, really, tell me more.
So their AI-powered tool analyzes the job description and suggests areas to improve your responses. Imagine having your answers scored against the job requirement.
That's like having a personal interview coach.
Exactly.
Does RoleCatcher offer anything else that can help me prepare?
They have a fantastic feature where you can practice answering questions through video and get AI-powered feedback on both your delivery and content.
So it's not just about what I say, but how I say it.
Exactly. They help refine your presentation to make sure you come across as confident and articulate.
This is incredible. It sounds like RoleCatcher has really thought of everything to help candidates prepare for these interviews.
They really have. It's all about giving you the tools you need to succeed.
That's amazing.
Okay.
All right, so we spent a lot of time on interview questions,
Yes.
and rightfully so.
100%.
But let's take a quick step back and talk about the bigger picture.
Okay.
Career advancement.
Right.
RoleCatcher's guide mentions this clear path
Yes.
from entry level to principal inspector.
It's a roadmap for growth.
What does that actually look like?
So starting at the entry level, you'll master those fundamentals inspections using tools, documenting findings, and following all those safety protocols.
So it sounds like a great way to gain experience
Absolutely.
and really get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there?
As you progress to a junior inspector, you'll take on more responsibility. You'll conduct more complex inspections, collaborate with teams, and even start training entry-level inspectors.
So you're not just following instructions anymore. You're starting to lead
Yes.
and contribute to improving processes.
Exactly.
What about the next step up?
Moving into a senior inspector role, your leadership skills really come into play.
Okay.
You'll lead a team, analyze data to spot trends, collaborate on quality improvements, and even audit suppliers.
Wow, that's a significant jump.
Yeah.
It sounds like strong leadership skills and a deep understanding of quality control are really essential at that level.
For sure.
Where does it go from there?
At the top of the ladder, you have the principal inspector.
Uh-huh.
They oversee all aspects of the inspection process, set quality standards, lead continuous improvement efforts, and even collaborate with senior management on quality strategies.
That's incredible.
Hmm.
It sounds like you have a real impact on the company's success at that level.
Absolutely. It's definitely a career path with significant room for growth and development.
100%.
And remember, continuous learning is essential for advancement in this field.
Yes.
Stay curious, embrace new technologies, and look for opportunities to expand your knowledge.
Okay. We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have.
We defined the role.
Yes.
We tackled some of the most common interview questions.
We did.
And even touched on career advancement.
Yeah.
And we explored how RoleCatcher's AI tools can give you a real advantage
Absolutely.
in tailoring your answers and getting feedback
Yes.
specific to the job that you're applying for.
100%.
We've given you a lot to think about so far, but we're not done yet.
Nope.
We're going to go even deeper in the next part of our deep dive, exploring additional tips and strategies to help you really shine.
Absolutely.
In your product assembly inspector interviews, stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned. Welcome back. So we just finished diving into some of those challenging interview questions and exploring how to approach them in a way that highlights your skills and your experience.
Yeah.
But let's face it,
Yeah.
interview prep can be a little nerve-wracking.
It definitely can be, especially when you're really excited about a specific role.
Yeah.
Remember those AI tools we touched on earlier?
Yes,
Sounds like RoleCatcher's platform can really help take some of that pressure off.
absolutely. Their AI can analyze the job description you're targeting
Okay.
and actually suggest improvements to your resume and cover letter
Wow.
to make sure they align perfectly with what the employer is looking for.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like having an expert recruiter
Right.
reviewing your application.
Exactly.
And we talked about how their AI can even help you refine your interview answers.
Yes.
It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it.
Exactly. Their AI-powered interview practice tool gives you feedback on your delivery.
Yeah.
Things like body language, tone of voice, overall presentation.
So it helps you come across as confident and articulate,
Yes.
even if you're feeling those pre-interview jitters.
100%.
It sounds like RoleCatcher has really created a comprehensive platform to help people land their dream job.
They really have. And speaking of dream jobs, remember that career roadmap we were discussing earlier?
Yes.
Let's dive a little deeper into those career stages outlined in RoleCatcher's guide.
Yes. Let's break it down, starting with the entry-level product assembly inspector.
Okay.
What are their core responsibilities?
At the entry level, it's all about mastering those fundamentals. You'll be inspecting products to ensure they meet specifications, identifying any defects, and using measuring and testing equipment accuracy is key here.
So attention to detail
Yes.
is a must-have. What kind of tools and equipment would an entry-level inspector be using? RoleCatcher's guide mentions calipers, micrometers.
Yes.
Those sound pretty precise.
They are. So calipers are used to measure the distance between two opposite sides of an object,
Mm-hmm.
while micrometers offer even greater precision for
Okay.
measuring things like the thickness of a material.
I see.
You'll also be using gauges to check specific dimensions and tolerances.
So it sounds like there's a lot of hands-on work involved.
Absolutely.
Using those tools to ensure everything meets the required standards.
Yes, and of course, documenting those findings is essential. Accurate record keeping is a big part of quality control.
Right. And as you gain experience, you move on to the junior inspector level.
Yes.
What are some of the additional responsibilities at that stage?
As a junior inspector, you'll take on more complex inspections.
Okay.
You'll also start collaborating more with manufacturing teams to address quality issues. This is where your understanding of the entire production process, remember that production and processing knowledge we discussed earlier,
Right.
really comes into play.
It's about seeing that bigger picture
Yeah.
and not just focusing on the inspection
Exactly.
in isolation.
Yes, you're starting to contribute to improving processes and preventing defects from happening in the first place.
Got it.
You might even start training and mentoring entry-level inspectors,
Okay.
sharing your knowledge and experience.
So it's a step up in terms of leadership as well.
It is.
What does that progression look like when you move into the senior inspector role?
No, those leadership skills really come to the forefront.
Okay.
You'll be leading a team of inspectors, making sure everyone is following procedures and meeting targets. You'll also be analyzing data to identify trends and areas for improvement.
So it's not just about inspecting individual products anymore.
No.
You're looking at the overall quality of the process itself.
Right. You're also collaborating with other departments like engineering and quality assurance
Mhm.
to develop and implement quality improvement initiatives. And you might even be auditing suppliers to ensure they're meeting the company's quality standards.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
What are some of the key skills and qualities needed to succeed as a senior inspector? I imagine RoleCatcher's Guide probably touches on this.
It does. They emphasize strong leadership skills, the
Hmm.
ability to analyze data and identify trends,
Okay.
excellent communication skills for collaborating with diverse teams, and a deep understanding of quality control principles.
So it's a combination of technical expertise and those all-important people skills.
Yes.
And then at the top of the career ladder, you have the principal inspector.
Yeah.
What sets that role apart?
The principal inspector is essentially the captain of the quality control ship.
I like that.
They're overseeing every aspect of the inspection process setting and maintaining those quality standards and leading those continuous improvement efforts.
It sounds like they play a key role in shaping the company's overall culture of quality.
Absolutely. They're also responsible for providing technical guidance and training to other inspectors, ensuring everyone is up to date on the latest procedures and technologies.
Speaking of technologies, RoleCatcher's Guide mentioned that technological advancements has significantly impacted the field of product assembly inspection.
Yeah.
What are some of those key advancements?
We've already talked about traditional tools like calipers and micrometers,
Right.
but technology is taking things to a whole new level. Think coordinate measuring machines
Okay.
or CMMs.
KMMs.
These are incredibly precise instruments that use computer-controlled probes to measure the dimensions of complex objects.
Those sound incredibly high-tech. What about vision systems?
Yes,
RoleCatcher mentioned those as well.
vision systems use cameras and sophisticated software to inspect products for defects that might be invisible to the human eye.
Wow.
They can detect things like scratches, dents, or even variations in color.
It sounds like these technologies are not only increasing accuracy,
Yeah.
but also speeding up the inspection process.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the impact of automation.
True.
Robots are now being used to perform repetitive inspection tasks,
Interesting.
freeing up human inspectors to focus on more complex issues.
It's amazing to see how technology is evolving and changing the way things are done.
It is.
Must be exciting to be a part of this field.
It is. And remember that continuous learning is crucial for staying ahead of the curve.
Yes.
Those who are willing to embrace new technologies and expand their skill set will thrive in this ever-evolving field.
Okay, we've explored those different career stages, and it's clear that this field offers some exciting possibilities. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, let's circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Okay.
Company culture.
Yes. Company culture can make or break your experience in any job.
Right.
Understanding a company's values and work environment is just as important as understanding the role itself.
Exactly. But how do you actually research a company's culture before an interview?
Right.
It's not like they hand you a manual.
Well, they might not hand you a manual, but there are plenty of clues out there if you know where to look. Start with their website. Check out the About Us section, their mission and value statement, and any pages that showcase their team or their work environment.
What about social media?
Yes.
I imagine that can give you a glimpse into their personality and how they present themselves to the world.
Absolutely. Take a look at their LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter profiles. What kind
Yes.
of content are they sharing? How are they interacting with their followers? It can reveal a lot about their values and their brand identity.
And then there are employee review sites like Glassdoor.
Yes.
I imagine those can offer some valuable insights,
Yeah.
although it's always important to take those reviews with a grain of salt.
Definitely focus on identifying common themes and patterns rather than getting hung up on individual opinions.
Okay.
Look for insights into their work environment management style and overall employee satisfaction.
And don't forget, you can always ask about company culture during the interview itself.
That's right. Don't be afraid to ask about their values, their approach to teamwork, or their commitment to professional development. Their answers will give you a much better sense of whether the company is the right fit for you.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
We've explored those different career stages, touched on the impact of technology.
Yes.
And even delved into the importance of understanding company culture.
Absolutely.
And we've reinforced how RoleCatcher's AI tools can be a game changer in helping you tailor your application and prepare for those all-important interviews. But we're not done yet. In the final part of our deep dives, we'll explore some specific tips and strategies to help you really shine in your product assembly inspector interview. We'll cover everything from how to dress
Oh, yes.
to how to make a lasting impression.
Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the world of product assembly inspectors.
We've covered a lot.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
The role itself, those tricky interview questions, the career path, and even the impact of technology.
And of course, we highlighted how RoleCatcher's AI tools can really give you an edge in your job search, from tailoring your resume to practicing those interview answers.
Right, but now let's focus on that crucial moment.
Yes.
The interview itself.
The interview.
Done all your prep, you're feeling confident, but what are some key strategies to really make a lasting impression?
So first and foremost, punctuality.
Okay.
In a field where precision and attention to detail are everything,
Right.
being on time is non-negotiable.
It definitely shows that you respect the interviewer's time.
Absolutely.
I was thinking, arriving a few minutes early also gives you a chance to just kind of collect yourself and make sure you're looking sharp.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
what's the dress code for a product assembly inspector interview?
While a full suit might be a bit much,
Okay.
aim for business casual.
This is casual.
Think neat slacks or a skirt, a button-down shirt or blouse, and maybe a blazer. And of course, make sure your shoes are polished.
Those little details matter.
They do.
They show you've put in the effort.
Oh.
Okay, so you're on time, you're dressed to impress,
Yes.
and you're greeted by the interviewer.
Okay.
What now?
This is where those soft skills we talked about earlier really come into play.
Okay.
A firm handshake, a warm smile, and good eye contact can go a long way in establishing a positive connection.
And don't forget to listen attentively.
Absolutely. Active listening is crucial. It shows you're engaged and genuinely interested in what the interviewer has to say. And then when it's your turn to speak, be clear, concise, and articulate.
So avoid using jargon
Yes.
or technical terms
Right.
the interviewer might not understand.
Exactly. Now, one thing that can really set you apart is asking thoughtful questions.
It shows you've done your homework.
Yeah.
You're genuinely curious. What are some good questions to ask in a product assembly inspector interview?
You could ask about the company's specific quality control processes, their approach to continuous improvement, or the tools and technologies they use.
You could also ask about the team dynamic,
Yeah.
opportunities for professional development, or even the company's long-term goals.
Those are all great examples, and don't be afraid to ask the interviewer about their own experience with the company.
Right. People love to talk about themselves.
They do.
It can give you some valuable insights.
Absolutely. It's a great way to build rapport and get a feel for that company culture.
So the interview is winding down,
Okay.
and the interviewer asks, do you have any questions for me?
Okay.
What now?
Even if they've answered some of your questions, I already have a few more ready to go.
Okay.
It shows you're prepared and genuinely interested.
Oh.
And of course, reiterate your enthusiasm for the role
Yes.
and thank the interviewer for their time.
After the interview, don't forget that all-important follow-up.
Absolutely. A personalized thank you note is a must.
Yes.
It shows your appreciation and keeps your name top of mind.
And it gives you another chance to highlight your qualifications
Yeah,
and reiterate your interest in the position.
for sure.
If you haven't heard back within a reasonable time frame,
Right.
it's perfectly acceptable to follow up again to check on the status of the hiring process.
Absolutely. It shows you're proactive and persistent,
Right.
which are valuable qualities in any candidate.
Okay, we've covered a lot in this deep dive.
We have.
From understanding the role of a product assembly inspector to acing that interview.
Yes.
Any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Remember, preparation is key.
Yes.
Research the company, the role, and the industry thoroughly. Practice your answers to those common interview questions until you feel confident, and don't be afraid to showcase your passion for the work
Right.
and your willingness to learn and grow.
That's great advice. We've equipped you with the knowledge and strategies you need to succeed in your product assembly inspector interview. Go in there prepared, confident, and ready to impress.
Best of luck in your job search.
And that wraps up our deep dive. Thanks for joining us, BOA.